Don't let a DUI charge ruin your life. Get a professional and confidential evaluation from our experienced team at True Heights Treatment. Our evaluations are accepted by the majority of courts in the state of Illinois and provide a comprehensive assessment of your substance use patterns and potential treatment needs. Get the help you need today and start your path to a brighter future. Contact us now to schedule your evaluation at 708-248-7039 or at thtdui.com.
The George Brassey Podcast is made possible with funding provided from Brassey Global Strategies, LLC, a leading political consulting, public policy, government affairs, and research firm. Are you interested in running for elected office? Need advice? Call or email George, 708-769-5015. Brassey Global Strategies 1 at gmail.com.
Hey everyone, it's George. I'm so glad to welcome Anthony McCaskill to the podcast. Anthony, thanks for coming on.
Oh, thanks, George, for having me, man.
Anthony, tell the audience a little bit about who you are.
Okay, so I'm Anthony McCaskill. I'm currently a candidate for mayor for the city of Harvey. I'm a small business owner. We have an automotive detail shop. We do custom paint jobs for motorcycles. We have a paralegal firm downtown Chicago. We also have a consulting firm that we use to not just for election stuff, but also for municipal government. So I'm pretty busy. I'm also the training and development leader for Ford Motor Company. Father, right? Husband, son. So all the above. So I'm pretty busy. But we're trying to make, we're just trying to make some time to serve the community that I was born and raised in, and I continue to live and serve. And that's Harvey, Illinois.
Let's talk a little bit about the community that you were born and raised in, Harvey, Illinois. You've probably seen it go through a lot of different changes and evolutions. Talk a little bit about what you've seen over the years and how that motivated you to get involved in the first place with running for office.
Well, George, it's a bittersweet type of conversation. I was born in 1974. So as I was coming up as a child, I can vividly remember right around 1970, 1978, 4 years old, 5 years old, right around that time when, my neighbors, I had Caucasian neighbors. I had different class of people living on my block. For instance, we had one of the police officers, one of the fire department officers, public works. And Harvey was a community based on recycling the dollars in our community. So we had everything you needed, right? From grocery store to shopping center to convenience store. So we had everything, and Harvey was a really tight-knit community. And then right around 1982, 83, the drug epidemic came to our community, and it ran a lot of people out. During that time, the first African-American mayor was elected, David Johnson, back in April of 1983. So from 83 to right around 94, 95, Harvey went through a transitional point because the manufacturing started to leave our community. When I say manufacturing, I'm talking about the steel and the steel mills started to leave our community. So the blue collar community started to break away, and a lot of people started to move outside of Harvey. And then that transitional point of homeowners versus renters really started to take place. And currently, we have about 20% home ownership and mind-boggling 80% renter, which is transitional. So I've seen a lot in my 49-year tenure as a resident of Harvey.
Anthony, what kept you there all this time?
I don't know, man. My wife and I talk about it all the time. We don't know if we're just born to serve or we're a little crazy. But I don't know. I mean, I got involved in politics actually in 1983 when I was 11 years old. I was actually like about 11. We was passing out, community stuff like, flyers and things of that nature. So I got a real buzz for service, right? My mom used to own the first African American beauty supply store in the city of Harvey. She was the Girl Scout cadet leader in the city of Harvey. She also was set on the Chamber of Commerce for the city of Harvey. So she's always instilled that service driven thing. And the beautiful thing of it is my wife, born and raised, same hospital, a couple years older than me. But I don't know. I just think that Harvey's given me my wife, raised my family. We believe that we can go anywhere in the world, be successful. But for whatever reason, Harvey has always been home to us.
Can you talk a little bit about, at one point you were the president of the Harvey Park District.
Correct.
Can you talk a little bit about what propelled you to run for that and what experience that job taught you?
Well, as the president of the Park District, I started off as the vice president after being elected. I served in that capacity. I served as the chairman of finance. I served as the chair of personnel. Sat on the bylaw committee, and then I got elected as the president. But during that time, we saw a lot of mismanagement over the years in the Harvey Park District. And so when I got in there, it was really interesting because 78% of the budget was going towards salaries, and a mere 12%, 13% was going towards utilities and insurance and things of that nature, and $0 was going to activities and programming. So what we did was we tried to orchestrate a better change, a better movement by making some necessary cuts in the payroll department so that we could start doing services and things for seniors and children. To fast forward that, we were about $4.3 million in debt. The Park District was in the verge of closing. I personally went and got a bond for $400,000 as a guarantee to make sure that the Park District doors didn't close. And so fast forward to now, the Park District is probably one of the number one park districts in the Southland as far as programming, as far as education, and also as far as having more things for children and seniors simultaneously. So I'm very proud of that, that I was a part of that movement. And one of the other things I'm proud of is that my son actually went to college, came back to serve his community, which we instilled when he was a child. And now he sits as the vice president of the Harvey Park District. So I'm very proud of that, that I can, start something and have my namesake finish it.
Anthony, historically, what has been the relationship between the Park District and the city of Harvey?
It's always been a tug of war, right? From way back when I was a child, the city of Harvey and the Park District never got along for whatever reason, right? I don't know. Everybody wants to be the head department or the head municipal government in charge. And we've had a lot of fighting, right? It goes back to the mayor that I remember was Mayor Haynes back in like 1974, 1973. And the Park District used to have a gun range, and they used to fight and squabble about who had the rights to the gun range, just back and forth. But I think the biggest issue is that the city never really knew their role as what a city is supposed to do, right? The city is not supposed to be involved based on the government we have set up to be involved with recreation. The city should be, talking about bringing business and infrastructure to the community and not getting involved with recreation. And I think that's one of the biggest things that we've had to fight with the city hall is that they don't know their role, right? The city hall shouldn't be doing bingo. That's an activity the Park District should be doing, right? And so those type of things have made it very difficult to work with the city of Harvey.
Another issue that is coming up a lot, it sounds like in your candidacy, is crime. Can you speak about crime in Harvey?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I just put out a press release to rebuttal some of the things that the current mayor has claimed. Speaking about homicides are down 55%, and that's a bunch of malarkey, right? I mean, what they're not saying, and what they play games with these numbers. What people are not saying, George, is that although homicides may be down, I'm not going to say 55%, they might be down a few percentage points, right? But we're not talking about all of the people who are getting shot. Give you a prime example. Super Bowl Sunday. The game was off. I'm preparing to go to sleep. A woman got shot in my alley in her mouth, right? She got rushed to Christ Hospital. Not sure if she's going to make it or not, but those are the type of things that is mind-boggling. Is that for one part of crime, crime is different things, right? You got robberies, you have um, um, murders, you have shootings, you have all carjack, you have so different many classes and classification. You can't just say, hey, here we are, we're going to do this, and we're going to focus on this. You have to focus on several different tasks to convert crime.
Anthony, you're running against an incumbent mayor. What would you want the people that support him to know about you?
That I've been consistent, right? I've been consistent. This is not my first time running. I ran a couple other times. I've always came in second, but I've been consistent with my plan. I've been consistent with my vision. And I've been consistent in listening to what the people's needs are. Um, you know, it's kind of weird how people um, don't have a an idea of what a person should look like when it comes to leadership, right? And so what we want to do is let the people who support it, and just by the way, George, overwhelming support are coming from people that supported the incumbent the last election because of a lack of leadership, right? A lack of knowledge. And so I just will tell the people who supported him in the past to just give us opportunity to serve. The name McCaskill in our community, when you talk about McCaskill, yeah, you might have some people that say, I can't, I don't like him, da, da, da. But the name McCaskill always had represented the name service since the 1970s in the city of Harvey. And that's been instilled by my mom. And so as we move forward, right, I've instilled that same drive into my children, and hopefully they will with their children. So,
Anthony, what role do you see the University of Chicago playing for Harvey going forward?
well, I hope the University of Chicago play a significant role, right? We have so many issues, right? We have addiction problems. Was one of the main things in the city of Harvey that we are facing is addiction problems, and we would ask to partner with the city of Chicago, Ingalls Memorial Hospital, where I was actually born at, to partner with us to say, hey, there's some substance abuse programs that we can introduce, some counseling, some domestic violence things. All of those things play a major part in our community, and we would ask to partner with the University of Chicago / Ingalls Memorial Hospital to help implement those programs at a low cost to the residents and or the city.
Anthony, what do you think people get wrong about the city of Harvey?
Wrong. Harvey is a town of poor, degenerate people, and that's not true. Harvey has a rich history um, of business, regardless of what color you are. Harvey has a rich history of coming to develop business. But one of the things that people, it's almost like for every one business we bring to the city, this administration is trying to turn this function and tear it down. Um,
Could you give us an example of that?
Example, right? Whether it's a liquor store, whether it's a quote unquote strip club or a lounge, the business owners in Harvey have been under attack by this administration for whatever reason, right? They've been under attack, not able to do the necessary things. When you destroy or when you attack a small business, George, you're not just attacking the establishment, you're attacking the suppliers, right? You're attacking the employees, right? But you're also attacking the residents because now if this company is not able to produce their tax dollars to put towards the tax levy, it's a disservice to the residents, to the police department, to first responders and things of that nature. So, we are pro business, right? We're going to come with a pro business approach. It's not going to be business as usual. There's going to be some strenuous rules that we're going to put in place for all businesses, but we're going to be pro-business and business friendly. I've never seen an administration attack small businesses like this administration has done.
Anthony, and talk about how your background as a small businessman will help inform you if you do get the privilege to become mayor.
Well, I've been a small business owner since I was 19 years old, right? I've always had a career. Um, And I believe that my knowledge and understanding what a small business goes through, right? If they're doing it the right way, when they're paying their taxes and paying their unemployment taxes, providing health insurance for their employees, understanding that I know exactly the struggles that they're going through because I go through those struggles on a daily basis with my family. And so they see the desire that I have to make sure that you know, our company stays afloat. But when you have close to 30 plus employees, George, it's very, very difficult to make everyone happy. Cost of living has gone up, but unfortunately, um, the wages are not going up, right? And so we got to look at things from a economic standpoint. When you're talking about, in giving people raises, but then the work satisfaction doesn't come with the raise. So it's so many different things you have to balance as a small business owner that a lot of people just don't get. And so that experience has taught me that, to show some compassion, for small business owners, but also business owners as a whole, but also show some compassion to the employees because, they've had a tough time, right? And to give you a prime example, the union contracts have not been renegotiated for 6+ years. So those are the things that people, been making the same dollar amount for the last, 7 years. Come on, that's not fair to people. So I would be compassionate when it comes to those things, but also been stringent to say, hey, these are expectations that we expect from all employees for the city of Harvey moving forward.
Anthony, the last question we always ask on this podcast is, what are 2 books that have been important to you as a person and why?
Oh, well, the first one, I'm old school, George. Although I'm 40 now, I'll be 49 April 1st. I'm old school. The Holy Bible, King James Version. And the verse that really stuck out to me um, is when I became a parent. And I didn't really understand it, and that's John 3:16, right? So it talks about that God, loved the world, that he gave his only son. I couldn't even imagine um, putting my children um, on the cross to bear the sins of all, right? So it just kind of, as an adult, after I became a parent, it really stuck to me, that Bible verse. And then the other book that is very interesting to me is the Art of War, right? Um, and as business, you try to be competitive, right? You try to um, make people strategize to figure out what's your niche and how to deal with your competitors, but also to deal with the people who are trying to destroy your business. And so that's one of the other things that I put as I run for campaigns. And George, I believe you are elected official as well, so you understand this, that you have to strategize to be 1 or 2 steps ahead of your competitors. And so the version of the Art of War that's been translated by Raphael D. Sawyer, in my opinion, any person getting involved with politics, any person getting involved with business, this is a good book to read. So yeah, that's it.
Anthony, tell the audience when the election is and how they could get a hold of you if they're interested in your candidacy or getting to know you or meet you.
Okay, so yeah, the election is April 4th. It's 3 days after my birthday, so it'd be a great birthday present for the residents to elect me. They can get in contact with me at the campaign office, 15424 um, Dixie Highway. That's Unit E. And my email address is info at votemccaskill.com. And just send us an email. Our social media pages, McCaskill for Mayor of Harvey, Illinois, 60426. We've been getting overwhelming support on that end. And so we're just here to serve the people. And whatever questions I can and cannot answer, or what I can and cannot deliver, I'll be at least man enough to admit and say that that's something we can't handle. So I ask that all the residents of Harvey, if you know someone in Harvey, to just give us an opportunity, right? So that we can show that we're here to serve. I think currently we are the only people in the city of Harvey that was actually born at Ingalls Memorial Hospital, that's serving. So it'll be interesting to have someone who actually was born at Ingalls Hospital and lived in the city of Harvey to be an actual mayor of the city of Harvey.
Anthony McCaskill, thanks for coming on the podcast.
All right, George, thank you.
Help George stay on the Chicago Heights City Council. Go and donate today at tinyurl.com/AldermanGeorge 2023.
Begin to transform your life and work towards inner peace with expert psychotherapy. At True Heights Treatment, our experienced therapists provide personalized, compassionate care to help you overcome life's challenges and reach your goals. Whether you're struggling with depression, anxiety, relationship issues, or other mental health concerns, our team is here to support you. With a warm and welcoming in-person and virtual office atmosphere and a commitment to person-centered and evidence-based treatments, we are dedicated to helping you address your life's challenges. Contact us now to schedule your first session at 708-248-7039 or online at trueheightstx.com. Book your appointment today and start your journey towards a happier, healthier life.
Need more George? Like his pages on Facebook. Friends of George Brassey PAC, Fifth Ward Business Alliance, Chicago Heights Bicycle and Pedestrian Resource Center, and the George Brassey Podcast.